All right. The following is the first half hour of yesterday's 6-hour Matt Walsh Gauntlet. If you want to see the full 6 hours, become a Pessimist Productions patron by clicking the link down below.
Stop and stop and stop.
Hey guys, welcome to the Matt Walsh Gauntlet.
Hey,
It's happening.
Steel Origin.
Yeah, no, we won't be doing that.
I mean, look, if that's how we choose to spend the gauntlet, that's how we choose to spend the gauntlet, you know? You know, that's our prerogative, right?
Giving away our fucking tactics and shit, man. You just pulling the fucking curtain back and revealing the wizard. Stop it. Stop it.
Behind. What's behind?
Silence.
Ah, there's something behind the screen.
Silence.
So I got to tell you my Kubrick dream, dude.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into this yet. I'm just pulling this up for when we need it. Shut up. We'll look at that in a second. I just wanted to get that ready to go for when we're ready to do it.
Man, that's a perfect intro, man. Throw yourself in the garbage can, Matt Walsh.
Yeah.
Really?
Anyway,
Yeah,
your
so-
Kubrick dream, Paul.
Yeah, my Kubrick dream. So I dreamed I was a kid.
Okay.
And I dreamed that I was working in the background of a Kubrick movie. Now, I got to explain a few things about Kubrick in this.
Mhm.
Kubrick in my dream, for some reason, had like a Spanish accent. I don't know why.
It's like,
I
am Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, he was like, I am Stanley Kubrick. And he was making this like low budget kind of like zombie movie, which I think would be really cool.
Dude.
If Kubrick had made a zombie movie.
Man, that would be fucking awesome if Stanley Kubrick had ever made a zombie movie. That thing would be beautiful. But yes.
And I was there on the sidelines, and I remember my mom had told me that me and my sisters were all there too, and she had told us like you have to be home by a certain time. You can't just stay on the Stanley Kubrick set. You got to come home because you got school the next day and shit. Well, the movie was running long, and Kubrick came up to me at one point, and he was like, "I want you to appear in the last scene of the movie. I want you to be the zombie that stabs the main character." And it was this weird shit where there's like a frozen puddle.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would break the puddle and make a shard of ice and stab the main character with it.
Right. Okay.
And so, but he couldn't film it until it was the magic hour. You know,
so you had to wait.
So I had to wait until dawn. And, you know, that I knew I was going to be in trouble with my mom or whatever. But I was in the back seat of a car, and I had to reach outside of the car and break a puddle and grab a shard of ice, and he had me practice it over and over again. I don't know how they kept freezing the puddle, but you know,
yeah, it's a dream. So yeah.
And so at the end of, we finally got that filmed, and he was like, "I've decided." He was like, "You were great. I have decided that the movie will end with a monologue, and I want you to narrate the monologue at the end of the movie." And I was like, "Okay, Mr. Kubrick."
Yeah.
And so like he sets me up and he gives me the script, and he's all nice to me at the beginning. He's like, "You'll do fine. Don't worry. Don't be nervous. You will do fine." I was like, "Yes, sir, Mr. Kubrick." He's like, "Action." And I look down at the fucking monologue I'm supposed to narrate, and it's just gobbledygook. It's just like,
yeah,
words that don't exist with weird umlauts and hyphens and shit. And I'm just like, and I try and I just stumble it. You know, I stumble on it like, immediately. And he's like, "It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Try again. Clear your mind. Forget the nervousness and action." And I look, and it's just different. Like it's changed. It's different gobbledygook now. And so, like every take that I fuck up, he starts getting madder and madder. He's like, "Oh, is there someone else that can do this?" And I'm like, "Mr. Kubrick, no, I can do this. Give me one more chance." He's like, "Okay, action." And I'm just like, and he's like, cut, I'm done with this. You are fired." I was like, "Oh," and everybody's like laughing at me and shit and like raising their hand to do it.
Yeah.
And I get up and I just start walking away all dejected like Charlie Brown. And Kubrick goes, "Paul, wait. And I turn around and he's standing there and he goes, "You have been punked." And then I woke up. Tell me what the fuck is going on in my head. Tell me what the fuck my brain was working out with that one.
I don't know. Oh. What the fuck, bro?
You've been punked.
Oh my god.
Punked by fucking Cuban Kubrick.
You've been punked.
I love when
by
a dream
Cuban
when a dream just ends on like a fucking like bam. Like it ends
You've
exactly
been punked.
and then it's just over.
punked.
I love it.
Jesus.
I love my dreams.
Well,
sometimes.
that's the last enjoyment we're gonna get tonight. So
yeah.
thanks for that, Paul.
That's peak. That we've peaked now.
Anyway.
Oh, the show's been canceled. Well, thank you, TJ. I appreciate that. Guys,
This
thanks
is
for joining us.
This is a video about how this is Matt Walsh defeating childlessness or whatever.
Oh, because didn't he go on? I don't know if this was before he went on Joe Rogan or after, but that was a big part of his episode. I went and watched that to prepare, and it's a painful episode to watch. I will say this though, the best part about him on Joe Rogan is it's like the only time I've ever really seen Matt Walsh clearly like, oh, yes, Mr. Rogan. Oh God, please, can I get your approval?
When Matt Walsh was on Joe Rogan, Joe should have murdered him.
If there's one thing that really turns our media on, it's the extinction of the human race. Our media is, perhaps more than anything, anti-human, at least.
I mean,
I get a
True.
boner.
Way to get me fucking on the side of the media, man.
Oh yeah, kill them all. Kill them all. Burn them to the
Nothing
ground.
our media loves more than the death of all.
Well, maybe
living
they looked
things.
outside and they saw Matt Walsh and they're like, they had a moment of like, should we do it? And they see him talking. They're like, yeah, we should. We've gone too far.
Anti-most humans. As far as humans go, they like themselves and believe that they themselves should continue existing. It's all the other humans, especially future generations of humans, that they aren't so sure about. And that's why the media is always eager for any excuse to celebrate the so-called
I get it, dude. You know what?
child-free movement.
Sorry.
Right away, man. He's gonna blow our mind. He's gonna be like, climate change is real. We face an existential threat. So he is right, dude. The media is ignoring it, bro. Wow. We have to agree with Matt Walsh right out the gate, TJ. That's crazy.
Yeah. Pretty wild, huh?
On that end, here's a recent article from today.com. It says, Laura Lavoie knew all her life she didn't want to have children. Now 46, she never felt that draw, she said, part of a growing U.S. population opting out of parenthood. A new study finds child-free people are as happy as parents, with the authors surprised by just how many men and women indicated they didn't want to have kids. It's part of a larger trend of Americans having fewer children in general.
TJ, can you pause it? I have a question.
You can pause it, actually.
Oh, I can pause it. I didn't. But
Yeah,
you did tell me that, but I forgot. My question with this is like, so the claim is being made that like, oh, now that so many people are choosing to be childless, like, how do we know that wasn't the case throughout human history? I mean, it seems to me that probably was the case that some people elected to have children and some people didn't, right? I mean,
there were also different pressures on people. Like having children in just a couple of 100 years ago was a way to ensure that, you know what I mean, you had somebody there to fucking take care of you when you were old and infirm.
Oh,
like
for
that
sure.
sort of thing is not really as much of a concern for people anymore.
But even then, I'm sure
a
there's
lot of
people...
times your kids just put you in the home anyway.
Well, I mean, think about this. Like, there's people who are going to be gay. They're not going to obviously reproduce. I mean, maybe they do because they pretend to fit in or whatever, but there's going to be people that never end up reproducing is the point. And probably some of them almost certainly by choice, like, I don't want that responsibility. I mean, I think almost everyone has someone in their family that's like, even families that some people do have a lot of kids. You'll see the polar opposite of someone wants no fucking kids. Like, I don't want any damn kids.
I just love how right out of the gate, too, the first thing that we see triggering him is like literally someone else making a decision that does not affect his life at all.
Well, no, it does, TJ, because it's the end of our species.
No, it's not.
It's the end of our species, TJ.
No, it's not. There's a lot of things that threaten to end our species. People choosing not to have kids is not one of them.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is he has not really proven. Maybe if you compare it to the 1950s, but he hasn't but obviously there's going to be trends where some people are going to have kids more in this time, and sometimes people are going to have less kids. Like during the pandemic, it was widely predicted there's going to be less people having children. Now, some people thought inversely it could, actually, people are going to be stuck at home. But there's definitely times where people are going to be more responsive to having children than not.
The crazy thing is that, like, we know that, like, people who have kids, they have all these expectations societally. Paul's rallied against it on the last couple shows, I think, or at least the last show he did.
Yeah, he did.
Where, there's these people that they feel like because they had kids, that like puts all kinds of onus on the rest of us to like make society more friendly to their kids. So literally the people who have the people who are imposing are the people who do have kids.
Well, I would say
the people who don't have kids are not trying to impose on the people who do have kids fucking at all.
That's actually the most charitable view of that. I think a lot of it is really just trying to exercise social control over people and using that as
using kids as a pretext.
No, I'm not saying I definitely think there's some people who are like that, who are but honestly, those people aren't really the problem. Those people are usually more super like empathetic people that just want to see kids treated better. That's really that's almost like a totally different thing, which they're claiming to do, but they have no interest in. I mean, they want to build an overall society if they really cared about those things.
It's like we live in a society now where it's like there are no adult spaces, or there are, but they're very, very few, and they're very far in between.
Like bars and shit. Like,
it's
casinos.
Like, it's a bar, it's a casino, but like for the most part,
not even the casinos anymore.
Right. A lot of the casinos even let them kids run around, not necessarily on the floor, but in the casino.
Really? Oh man, that's fucking that's absurd. What business is a kid having a casino?
None. Fucking none. And it's
dude,
like,
when I was at the fucking the Luxor for Thanksgiving last year, there was like this group of teenagers. I was walking off the casino floor, kind of back towards the hotel, but I was still on the casino floor. And there was a group of teenagers filming a fucking TikTok in the casino.
Are you serious,
gross.
Dude?
Yep.
Fucking gross.
We're at a casino and we're underage. It's like, you shouldn't be.
We can't. And it's like, there's no fucking adult friendly. There's no space for where adults can just be adults. And like, really, like, I feel like it should be the other way around, where people have to go to special places to find a place that's kid friendly. I feel like most places should just be for adults. But whatever.
I think there should be some space. Like, look, you know what? A great space that I think is primarily devoted to children. That honestly, is like playgrounds, like in parks. A lot of parks end up becoming like if there's a playground, it becomes dominated by that, and a lot of people I don't think would want to go there.
Right. You don't necessarily need like the playground can be for the kids. The school
that makes
can be
sense.
For the kids. The family restaurant can be for the kids.
Exactly.
But like,
there's a
the
place
bar
for those things.
Should be for the fucking grown-ups. The fucking club should be for the grown-ups. Most places that you go in the world should be for the fucking grown-ups.
The weed bar should be for grown-ups. Yeah.
Right.
There's well, you figured people would actually agree to this, TJ, because your position, honestly, it almost sounds like what they would want. I want to segregate children from these things you guys say are bad.
Right.
Like, shouldn't they agree with you?
They should.
I mean, that's part of being a fucking adult with children, is you take responsibility for keeping your kids away from shit you don't want influencing them. That's your deal.
Yeah.
So
and your prerogative, and it's your responsibility, and it's not my fucking problem.
Take the kids to the weed bar to weed them out. Okay, that's a terrible but awesome idea.
Well, I mean, the reason why people like Matt Walsh are all in a fucking tizzy because people are choosing not to have children has nothing to do with the human species surviving. To them, it's like some sort of, like, children are supposed to be some sort of social glue that keep the traditional one man, one woman marriage,
the nuclear
together.
family, right?
Right. And not only that, but like, remember, Daily Wire brought to you by your corporate overlords, right? And they view human beings as, chattel for their machines. They just want more fucking obedient drones to work under them. So that's another reason that this is so venerated, especially like Daily Wire. If you look, one of the things that triggers the right the hardest, other than trans people right now, is childless women and women who celebrate being childless. That's like the thing that triggers them the second most after trans people currently. And that was evidence when Chelsea Handler did that little fucking sketch and they all fucking like lost their shit over it. And I looked at the sketch and I'm like, this is so banal, so inane. It's just so like whatever of a sketch. But for some reason to them, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. DJ? When did you fucking change my name to DJ, bitch?
Dude, I was wondering how fucking long it would take, dude. Like, probably 20 minutes ago.
Oh, you fucking prick.
I know if I put that J there, you would just assume it's TJ. It's fucking TJ.
Real subtle.
The U.S. birth rate fell to a record low last year, and there could be 300,000 to 500,000 fewer births in 2021, according to some estimates. For Lavoie, there were many reasons to choose to be child-free. Quote, the most important...
Tell me how it's a bad thing. I think we all clearly know there's way too many people on the planet. So people not being born is probably arguably the most humane way to make that happen.
You would think that we all know that, but there's actually a very large contingent of people.
Oh, no, I don't believe people know that, dude. I go out in public and a lot of people around here have like very large families. They have like, I've got 7 kids, and it's like, man.
Well, not only that, but like
you're a fucking real optimist. If I see that, that's what I think of that person. Like, that person's like a super fucking optimist. They must be.
Even people you think would know better will give you that like overpopulation is a myth bullshit. And it's like, no, it's not.
Well, with the way resources are allocated under a capitalist system, yeah, I'd have to argue. I mean, yeah, maybe there is some condition that it could exist that was more egalitarian or more, equal.
Well, we ain't living under that, so
yeah. So maybe then overpopulation would be a myth in that sense. But it's like saying like if we lived in this perfect world, then it wouldn't be a problem.
I wonder what Matt Walsh would think of my spouse and I. We are poly with kids. He would hate your guts.
Yeah, you're disgusting.
Anything that's not exactly what he likes is gross to him.
Yeah, you perverted like what's supposed to be like an important act of unifying a family and broken.
In fact, your children should be taken away from you and placed in a foster care.
Christian foster
is that
care.
I just don't want to raise children. It's just not something that has ever appealed to me. I don't want to be responsible for another human being in that way.
Makes sense to me.
Lavoie, a writer who lives in Asheville, North Carolina, told Today. But I also really like traveling. I like adventure. Never sitting in the same spot for very long, and just kind of lifestyle things that don't really fit with having a child.
Wow. Well, that sounds pretty rational, right,
wow,
guys?
That makes me so mad that person has those values and stuff. I'm so upset by the fact that they don't want kids. That's really making me angry. I don't want to be
responsible for a person. They just pretty much say it outright. I don't want the responsibility. It's like, well, if they want that responsibility, it's like so you want to force that person to be a parent. That makes no fucking sense. That's how you have kids that get like abused and have miserable lives by foisting something onto them they don't want. It's just a bad idea.
Like a person has a list of completely rational reasons why they don't want kids. Like, hey, it wouldn't really fit with my lifestyle. I don't really want the responsibility of it. I like to travel, and I feel like having kids make that much harder. You know, most of what I do in my day-to-day life is not something that's going to be child friendly. It's not really something I want. I don't really think I would find fulfilling, so I'm not going to do it.
You're just real selfish then.
So what's the counter argument here?
There's a word for that. It's called being superficial and materialistic and selfish.
Okay. Well, listen.
Yep. You're selfish, dude.
Listen, bud. Even if every adjective you just spewed at me is correct, it is my right to be superficial and selfish and whatever the other thing you said was. So fuck you. Like, I don't care.
I mean, yeah, you can have the
my reasons can be as I can be as fucking selfish as I want to be. It's none of your fucking business. It doesn't affect you. In fact, I think it's selfish that you think that you should have control over my life.
This guy should be celebrating. If I was opposed to you and we were having this argument, I thought we should have a bunch of kids. And
right, because if I did have kids,
said, like,
I would raise them to hate your guts. So.
Exactly. I'd be like, good. TJ, I actually don't want you. I do want people to multiply, but certain people, certain strands certain branches need to die off. And people like you are a part of that branch. So that I would be clicking my heels.
In the original,
I'm not reproducing.
In the original Ninja Turtles, Splinter, in like the original comic book, Splinter was raising the Ninja Turtles to murder Shredder, his enemy, right? So he was basically like he had them as his kids specifically to train them to kill his nemesis. And you know, all I'm saying is, Matt, you don't want me to have kids.
You're gonna be Splinter. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'm not saying it. I'm just telling an unrelated tale. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, like you see parallels to that story. That
Paul's
fictional
fucking
story.
sitting on a fucking hammock on a beach somewhere while we're doing this shit. He's just like,
Fucking Paul's brilliant, dude.
Yeah, what are you talking about, dude?
We saw the hammock, Paul. We saw the hammock.
I just haven't heard you in a minute. I was just like thinking Paul fucking wandered off.
I just fucking piped in.
Did you? Oh, sorry.
What
I
the
didn't
fuck?
realize.
Dude, that's a lie, dude. Paul's fucking. He's been here. What the hell?
All right.
So that's 3 words, I suppose. It'd be a lot easier and get to the point much quicker if these people would just say that.
All right.
Say.
I'm superficial and selfish, and I don't want kids because I'm a fucking selfish prick. Now you happy? We good now?
What are they saying? What are they saying that's like pissing him off? I want to like travel and not be tied down to one place, and I want to see the world, and that precludes me from having kids. Like what is the problem with that?
He doesn't like it.
Selfish.
The problem with it is that Matt Walsh doesn't agree. The problem is that Matt Walsh is like, nah.
I'm materialistic and selfish, and that's how I want to live my life.
All right. I'm materialistic and selfish, and that's how I want to live my life. We good now?
Problem solved, right?
Also, I must note here, you're not an adventurer because you spend thousands of dollars to go to different tourist spots around the globe. You want an adventure? Take 4.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Like what is with you assuming that that's what I'm going to do?
Yeah, like first of all, you don't know my travel itinerary. Second of all, even if I do want to just go to tourist places and that's an adventure for me, I'm pretty sure I get to decide what I feel like is an adventure in my own life before you do.
Yeah, because when I think of adventure, I think of wiping a shitty diapered ass for fucking months and months.
All right. An undertaking or enterprise of a hazardous nature. You could easily die traveling. There's a bunch of ways you could die. Or an unusual or exciting experience. So it sounds like it qualifies.
Right. So whatever experience is unusual and exciting to me qualifies regardless of whether you fucking think it does or not. Not that it really matters whether or not my travel plans, whether they count as an adventure or not, who gives a shit? That it couldn't be any less material.
Well, he has no actual good reason. But I mean, does he really need one? I mean, for people listening to Matt Walsh, like the target audience for this crap, like you really don't have to have good reasons. And it doesn't really matter what he's saying. As long as it's like they're destroying us. They're replacing us, TJ. Whatever dog whistle shit you want to hear, whatever fucking nonsense you want to hear, you're going to hear it in this vague fucking shit. Because I mean, as far as I can tell, he has not made an actual argument for why, just aside from like, you're bad.
That's all you're going to get. That's all you're going to get this whole show, by the way. You're not going to get anything deeper than what you're getting right now.
You're bad. You're
Don't even look
bad.
for it.
Okay, what else you got? Well, you're real bad.
Don't even look for anything deeper than that.
Why did we do this?
What is this, 23?
Why did we do this?
We're 1/15 of the way through.
Why did we do this, man? Why? Oh,
the panic is setting in for Paul. He's like, "Fuck, man, come on,
Paul. You're 1/15 through, buddy. It's fine.
You're making it, Paul. You're doing it, Paul. The dream is alive. The dream is alive.
It's a beautiful day.
4 kids to the grocery store. Okay, adventure awaits right down the street if you do that.
They don't.
That qualifies as adventure.
Taking your kids to the grocery store is adventure, but world travel isn't.
Yeah, like going to fucking like Nepal, not an adventure. Taking your fucking snot noses to the fucking AM, PM or whatever the fuck. Yeah, that's
no.
That's the real definition.
I'll tell you what it's like.
Adventure. That's Indiana Jones shit.
I'll tell you what it's like. Take 4 kids to a fucking store. You want to know what it's like? Torture. It's not an adventure. It's torture. That's what the fucking that's the answer for you.
At least as much as flying down to Cancun and drinking $27 cocktails.
No, wrong.
That sounds better. That sounds
Wrong.
way fucking better, bro.
Dude, I don't know how to tell you this, Matt, but like any day of the week, there is no mood. Like I will never be in any mood where someone can present me with this dichotomy of choice. Like, hey, you can fly to Cancun and you can drink $27 cocktails. Like, all right,
Dude,
what's
there
option
is
2?
There's no
option
such
is
thing.
you
There's
take
no such thing
four
as a
snot-nosed
$27
brats.
There's no such thing as a $27 cocktail in fucking Cancun, by the way. It's way fucking cheaper than that, buddy.
Dude,
Sure.
even if it was,
But I'm
I'd
saying,
fucking
even if
pay it
that
over
was
it.
the dichotomy, though.
Yeah, that's still like that's cool. I'd rather do that.
Yeah, like any day of the fucking week. Send me to Cancun and alcohol or kids in a grocery store. Fuck you.
Dude, Matt
choose
Walsh would
Cancun.
choose Cancun and the $27 fucking overpriced drinks. He's a
course
fucking
he
lying
would.
sack of shit. He's not going like,
There's
you
no
know what?
human being on the face of the earth
Taking
that
my
would choose
kids
that
to the
fucking
store.
second thing.
It's a real adventure.
Every fucking person that has their 4 kids in the grocery store is fucking like, and is listening to them scream and they're just thinking like, man, I wish I was fucking Cancun right now by my goddamn self. I love this. I'd love my kids, but it'd be okay if they were never born.
Oh shit. Look, if I could undo you, I'd do it. If I could Thanos your ass out of existence, you'd be gone. But, you know, it is what it is.
In a tourist resort. Now, the Cancun trip may be more relaxing, I admit, but I'm just tired of these childless couples acting like they're exploring the Amazon, bragging about their adventures.
What if they are?
Yeah, some of them are.
Yeah, I mean,
Some of them
demonstrably.
literally are. Like, what do you think that the people that are actually doing the things that you would qualify as adventure have 10 kids with them when they're doing it? No.
If I wanted to just spend every fucking waking moment of my life sitting on my couch eating cheese balls, and that's all I did with my fucking life, that would be fucking my prerogative. I don't understand why you feel entitled to choose my trajectory in life. Like
it's because it's because you've chosen to do something different than he chose to do. And to him, that's an implicit like that's an attempt to refute his way of life. When he looks around and sees somebody who didn't choose the same path he does, he feels like it's a direct attack on his choice.
I mean,
it's not.
It is.
No, it really isn't. It really isn't, though.
No, it's not. Because I've never once in my life been like, you should have done this and you should have done that. You know why I don't care what you did with your life, Matt? I mean, I do care because you put it out in the public sphere and shit. But beyond that, like what you do in your personal life, like you taking your kids to the grocery store, you know, I've never once been like, you shouldn't be doing that, because I don't give a rat's fucking ass about you. Why do you give a rat's fucking ass about me? You're a fucking weirdo, dude.
I don't care if someone has an opinion, but pretending it's some fucking grand fucking plan for everybody, that's when it just goes too far. It's like, can you even demonstrate that there is like it's inherently better? It's objectively better to go this way. And I don't think you really can.
All right.
Next meetup in Cancun. I don't think going to Mexico is a good idea for anybody at this point in history, but hey, you do you.
I mean, Cancun is probably still reasonably safe, but whatever.
I mean, if you stay in the fucking designated areas.
Yeah, if you avoid adventure, let's just say.
When they're being herded like cattle from one tourist spot to the next. Anyway, back to the article. It says, her husband feels the same way, she said. They've been together 26 years and both agreed they didn't want to have children.
What a pair of evil scum fucks.
How dare they make that decision? I'm sure they're so depressed with that decision that they made. I mean, it seems like they're both of sound mind, right? And reason. Hey, we don't want to have children. Okay.
I literally got back from Cancun 2 days ago. Wouldn't you have rather taken 4 kids to the grocery store, though?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even have to. You don't even need to respond because we already know the answer. Obviously, the 4 kids at the grocery store is what you'd want.
So I've been shuffling these tarot cards this whole time. Just kind of like something to do with my hands. If I draw the death card from the top, we don't have to do this gauntlet anymore.
Okay. What is it? Death.
It's not death. It's the Empress. Okay.
Fuck. What was the card underneath it, man?
You want to do second chance?
Yep. Second chance. It's death.
No, it's the fucking.
God damn it, TJ.
7 of wands. 7 of wands.
No.
All right. Maybe if I draw from the middle of the deck.
Nah, dude.
cut directly to the death card.
Is that death? I can't tell.
It is, dude. Death. Good night.
No, it's Queen of Swords. Sorry, it's not happening for us. It's not in the cards.
The cards, yeah. Yeah, it's really not.
Where was Death hiding? Where are you, Death? Even in this deck? What the fuck is wrong with you?
What the fuck? There's no death in your deck?
Thus concludes our half-hour preview of the 6-hour Matt Walsh Gauntlet that we did yesterday. If you want to see the full Gauntlet, become a Pessimist Productions patron. We also have a bunch of other neat gauntlets and a bunch of neat upcoming gauntlets, so stay tuned.